We are in Peoria Heights on a very busy Friday night at Busted Brewing. This is Brian Buss.
Howdy.
I'm just now putting together Busted.
That's not by accident. That's definitely
it all comes together. It all makes sense. So Busted Brewing. I have so many questions about this place. How did you get into brewing, Brian? How did this start for you?
You know, it started with a friend of mine. He had gotten into home brewing, making extract beer kits, and one night he came over and kind of showed me how to do it. And I probably made about a handful of extract beer kits before I started going down the rabbit hole of making all grain beers and making recipes.
When this buddy comes over, this home brewer buddy, did you have any idea what you might have been getting into? I mean,
not really. No.
Were you a little skeptical about what the beer was going to taste
like?
Oh,
100%. Yeah. I mean, like anything, it's like, you know, I have all this stuff in a bucket. What's this going to turn into?
Right.
And, you know, and I will say those early batches were not bad. I'd say it definitely took a turn when I started making my own recipes.
Right.
So I definitely did a lot of research into that.
What styles are you most excited about presenting? Like when someone comes to Busted, what should they expect style-wise and in terms of what you're trying to get done?
I mean, I'm a hotbed. I love IPAs, both what they call West Coast IPAs and hazy IPAs as well. But I tend to kind of go all over the map when it comes to styles. I've made dry stouts and brown ales and coffee beers and beers made with local syrup and kind of anything and everything that becomes available.
How important is local ingredients? Did you go out of your way to get things as close to Peoria Heights as possible, or?
100%.
Yeah.
So the maple syrup that I mentioned, that's actually from a farm over in Tremont. I've used coffee from both a local roastery from here in Peoria Heights, as well as one just up the road in Peoria. So using local stuff is pretty important to us because when people have something that's just not of the ordinary, we like to kind of showcase like, hey, we actually made it with them. Go try their stuff too.
Right.
You know, especially when it comes to coffee and maple syrup, right? Because those are not just beer things. Those are everyday life things.
Some breweries tend to lean more into family friendly. Others kind of suggest maybe, leave the kids at home. It strikes me here at Busted, family friendly is absolutely the way that you've leaned. Am I way off?
Nope, you are 100% correct. We are definitely a family-friendly brewery, and hopefully we're a brewery for everybody. You know, the one thing if you're looking for just an adult night out and there's kids here, like maybe it's just not the place.
Right.
Yeah, but definitely there are nights when it's all adults here, so it just kind of goes in ebbs and flows.
Let me circle back to family because it seems to me you've got a lot of family working here. And a lot of family behind the scenes. Yep. Can I ask about everyone behind the scenes and their relation to you? Because this might be one of the more family-run breweries we've ever visited.
Yeah, so my wife is also my co-founder and helps a lot in the business, especially on the bookkeeping side.
How hard was it talking her into doing the brewery, or was this her idea? Like when you said, I think I want to open up my own brewery, like take us to that time and place. What was that conversation like?
I'll definitely say there was a lot of good discussion, some spirited discussion along the way of just how we wanted to do this. Because again, this wasn't just something that, let's just open the doors and sell beer. We kind of wanted to make a statement about who it is and who we are and what it is we want to be about, right? So, kind of and her and my father-in-law and my sister-in-law really kind of sat down and kind of laid out the foundation for how to set this up to be, not just, obviously customer friendly, but family friendly too. Because obviously we've got, the tables and chairs for everybody, but we also got giant Connect 4 games and we've got a washer game. We've got all these things to kind of help be a little bit more enticing to families.
So you're back here brewing the beer.
I make the beer. I run sales, I run distribution, I pay our bills. On the other side of it, my wife and sister-in-law, they're doing events, they're doing things like our beer festivals, they're doing helping with the bookkeeping with our accountant, they're doing the scheduling and managing our employees and kind of all that stuff. So it takes a team to do this, not one person can do that. And I think that's what's kind of led to our success this far.
When the brewer introduces himself, your words now, hophead. People, I know there are a lot of folks that get very excited to hear that.
Yeah.
But you have to have a balance, right? And no judgment. There are some folks that just don't enjoy IPAs, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Art is subjective.
Yes.
So for those folks, how do you make sure they're having a good time?
Well, I mean, honestly, it just comes kind of from what would I drink if I was to go to a brewery? You know, like recently we just released our dry stout. It's a 4%, very chocolatey, roasty type of beer, and it actually won an award on Untapped Community Awards. So very proud of that beer, and it's a beer that's not very hoppy. There's not a lot of alcohol in it, and it's something that people can just sit and enjoy.
When folks are making their way from the Quad Cities to Peoria Heights here to Busted Brewing, what are like the 3 beers you think they should have?
So I would definitely say our Citra Crash IPA. It's a West Coast IPA made with a bunch of Citra hops, very citrusy, floral. Another beer that's a taproom favorite is called Do You Have a Domestic, which is actually kind of our play on.
Do you have domestic?
That's kind of our take on a nice light Pilsner beer, you know, something approachable. We've actually had people walk in and say, do you have a domestic? And we start pouring it with them unknowing, and they actually end up liking it.
Okay, so the Citra IPA. And the other beers that we should have are the...
Do You Have a Domestic?
Do You Have a Domestic?
And then our brown ale called That One Coach. So it's I always say it's kind of an unconventional kind of brown ale that uses, instead of brown malt, we use a little bit of pale chocolate malt in it to give it a little bit of roasty depth to it, or roasty chocolatey depth to it. That has definitely been a big seller in our tap room. So I'd say those are the 3 beers that people should definitely come try it.
Definitely. Those 3 sound like a good place to start. Busted Brewing here in Peoria Heights. Brian, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
And cheers. There's one legend on your list that, and it's in a different color, so I don't know what this means. Tell me about the mythology of this fella, Hams. Is that Greek mythology, Roman? What is Hams?
Yeah, it's Norse. From the land of 1,000 lakes.
Okay. Sky blue waters?
Yes,
Would that be safe to say?
Yes.
Wait, is that the magical mythical bear that I've heard so much about?
Yes.
That's obviously a guest tap.
It is our only permanent guest tap.
Okay.
We have Fancy Hams, which is...
Wait. Are you pulling my leg? Fancy Hams?
It started off as a joke when we first opened with putting one of our cocktails, hibiscus ice cubes, in it. And then we tried and we're like, actually, this is very good. And now that's evolved into having it topped with Mai Tai passion fruit foam.
So the hams that you get here at Nightjar is different than any hams in the world?
It can be.
You have to ask for it.
If you want a fancy ham.
You say, give it to me.
Yeah, make it fancy.
Hams.
Yeah.
Give me a hams and give me a fancy. But really, I mean, the people at Hams don't need our help.
I tried tagging them in it, actually. I was like, we either get a cease and desist or like a high five. We got nothing, but it was
nothing
a hope.
Nothing yet. So no collabs with Hams.
Maybe someday.